Hi everybody, this is Saad for the Sad Truth. I decided to drop everything, including watching the end of my daughter's soccer match, so that I could put together these thoughts. Earlier today, I watched the exchange between Piers Morgan and Tommy Robinson on British television. As some of you know, I have lectured on the most dangerous pathogen known to mankind today, ostrich parasitic syndrome. Mr. Morgan embodies the fatally damaged OPS sufferer. He is smug and arrogant about his moral superiority, whilst being fully confident about his profound ignorance. The Dunning-Kruger effect rears its ugly head in full glory when it comes to Piers Morgan. In his chat with Robinson, he was a monstrous bully. He repeatedly hurled baseless insults at Robinson without allowing his guest an opportunity to offer any substantive rebuttals. He was engaged in a grotesque form of theatrical grandstanding meant to impress his cowardly media buddies in London. Every single word out of his mouth was an affront to human liberty, to human decency, to human reason. Imagine how someone like me, who escaped the brutality of the Middle East because of my religious heritage, feels when watching a clown lecture us about Islam. Imagine my horror at seeing this diabolical creature huff and puff when Robinson dared to raise a copy of the Quran in his hands. Morgan was angry that Robinson was being religiously disrespectful, effectively supporting blasphemy laws, but he is not in the least bit concerned with the hundreds of millions of people who have been subjugated, converted, raped, enslaved, mutilated, and executed due to the tenets of that faith. In Morgan's world, if you could identify one person named Ahmad who is a nice and loving person, then all of the historical brutal realities are magically erased. The 31,000 plus terror attacks since 9/11 alone are no longer relevant. The endless passages of genocidal hate in the Islamic Holy Trilogy no longer exist. Instead, he reminds us of hashtag not all Muslims. How many more terror attacks against innocents must be endured before vile cowards such as Morgan will target their ire at religious teachings that have no place in a modern, liberal, secular society, instead of attacking canaries in the coal mine, warning the West about the growing dangers? It is unimaginable to comprehend how someone could have such a broken moral compass and yet be so bereft of self-insight that he truly feels that he is on the right side of the issue. History will judge Mr. Robinson and the castrated coward Morgan very differently. Shame on Morgan for belittling the horrors that innumerable millions of innocent Muslims and non-Muslims alike have endured at the hands of this religious ideology over the past 1400 years. Shame on Morgan for caring more about scoring progressive points with his suicidal progressive friends rather than stating loudly and clearly, in a secular, modern, and liberal society, we do not owe a single ounce of respect, deference, or acquiescence to any ideology that does not respect us and our values in return. Morgan is a broken man. He is a soulless individual. He epitomizes the collective death wish of the West. I only hope that we can muster the necessary courage and wherewithal to protect our liberal and secular societies for our children and theirs. Morgan is a treasonous cretin. I don't care about him as an individual, but I greatly care about his mindset, for it is the singular cause that has led us to the current conundrum that we face. Unless we find a way to eradicate OPS from our public discourse and our public policies, we will lose this battle. Once lost, we may never regain the free, liberal, secular, and modern societies that miscreants such as Morgan and his ilk take for granted. Heed my words. This issue will be resolved in one of two ways, peacefully or violently. Every day that idiots and enemies of reason such as Morgan have a voice in the public sphere is a day that we inch closer to violence. This problem will only be resolved when voices such as Morgan become fringe and when his bombastic bluster is laughed out of the public arena of ideas. We all have a stake in this battle. Get engaged.